everyone, and welcome to issue number 28 of the monthly Dive into the Longbox. I'm Gabe, joined by Jocelyn as usual, and we have a fun one on deck here today. We are finally reviewing Stripperella episodes 1 and 2.
Gabe's been singing that even before we started the podcast.
It's such a damn good song, man. It's so catchy. Shout out Spike TV for making this show happen. Their show, not this show. This show is not brought to you by Spike TV. I don't even think Spike TV exists anymore, to be honest.
No, it's now the Paramount Network. Thank you very much.
Correct, it is. Thank you for correcting me.
Which is fucking lame.
But before we get into that, you'll notice tonight isn't here. He wasn't able to join us, but we do want to work with him and getting his thoughts. Even if it's like a pre-recorded thing real quick to get his thoughts on Stripperella episodes 1 and 2, because this is something he needs to watch. He can't get away with this. He needs to watch episodes 1 and 2. He needs to watch
1,000%. 1,000%.
But before we get into the review, as usual, we're going to take a look at some things we've either been reading or that we've been buying. In my case, it's been a lot of buying. My read pull list has been insane, and I have been backed up on that for quite a bit. I still have 4 issues from last week to get through, and today is New Comic Book Day. Actually, I found out something interesting. I found out basically every day is New Comic Book Day now, almost, from my shop.
Okay.
Blew my mind. So I went to go pick up books, and they had half of the issues for next week. So I was like, that's weird. How did you guys already have these? And they're like, well, because of Diamond shutting down, and now these comic companies are going to different distributors, they're shipping on different days. So books are just like, so they're all coming in by Wednesday, but they're coming in different days, so you could get books early.
That makes sense.
Which
is
like,
a lot of sense.
That's going to be interesting for people wanting to get their hands on like first prints of Marvel and DC this winter, because they're going to be there every fucking day.
I think that's a good thing. Like overall,
I think so too.
Like I think that's a good thing.
I believe so as well, because I think it's people in the shop more consistently now. So they're not there on just Wednesdays, they're visiting every other day, which then leads to people buying more books and things like that, which I like. And I did want to bring to your attention too, they've announced more Marvel vs. DC stuff.
Yes, they certainly have.
They have.
They certainly have.
So, this is what we know as of right now. Here, I'm going to grab this real quick. We're going to edit me walking away out, and then we're going to talk about it, because I have something that has information. 1 second. All right, I'm back. If you're listening, I was gone for a millisecond. That's how quick I am. I'm like the Flash. Anyone that knows me knows I'm a cheapskate. I still like getting my free Marvel and DC previews each month. And you're wondering, why is this bagged and board? This is just a free preview book. Technically, I learned, this is technically the first printing of Deadpool and Batman's cover. Technically.
Okay.
So I was like, I'm going to just keep it preserved and looking nice, just for personal stuff. So I have a preview book that is bagged and boarded. But I found out I'm not the only one. People did that for Ultimate Black Panther #1 when it was selling out. They were bagging and boarding their fucking preview books and selling them for like $50. It was insane. I'm not going to do that with this one. But this is preview book number 46, September of 2025, that they're advertising stuff for. They have a cool image here of the Deadpool and Batman logo, which is fucking amazing. Like, this is insane to me to see. Like, I have a Marvel preview advertising Batman right now. This is so cool. So,
it is.
I flipped the page. They have the picture of Batman and Deadpool, but on this side, they got more announcements of the rest of the lineups. And they are amazing. We are getting Deadpool and Batman by Zeb Wells and Greg Capullo. Okay. Already good. We're then getting Jeph the Land Shark and Crypto the Superdog by Kelly Thompson and Gurihiru, I think their name is. I said that completely wrong. I apologize. I'm horrible with names. Don't yell at me. We're also getting this one I'm really excited for. Captain America and Wonder Woman. That's really good. I like that.
Yeah, that sounds good on paper.
And it's by Chip Zdarsky and Terry Dotson. So you know it's going to be a banger.
It's a good team,
And this one has piqued my interest and has been added to my hype train, honestly, more than Deadpool and Batman. It is
Oh,
Daredevil and Green Arrow.
of
Art
course,
by
because
Adam Kubert and
Mhm.
written by Kevin Smith, who is returning to a Daredevil title. And if you remember him working on Daredevil, it was amazing. So
It
it's gonna
was.
be
It really was.
it's gonna be cool to see him back doing. And you know, Kevin has obviously a good sense of humor, so you know Ollie's gonna have a sense of humor, which is gonna be fun. Because that's if they portray Ollie that way, which I hope they do, because that's who Ollie is. But you know, he goes through so many different iterations. Who knows? But that's a cool fucking team up right there.
Yeah, I like that. I like that team up a lot.
I will say though, like these are the 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 titles, 2 each. I'm genuinely shocked that there's no lineup or anything for Superman or Spider-Man,
Yeah.
or I don't know if maybe
Or
if there's more coming. Or if these are like the
you
Marvel level books, and then DC's getting their own 4 books, maybe I don't know. But I thought it was just 2 and 2. But
you would think,
yeah,
Superman and Fantastic Four coming out in the same month.
yeah,
You
do
would
something with
think
that. Take
both
advantage.
companies, you know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Honestly, though, I think doing Crypto and Jeph the Landshark is fucking great, because now you're getting the people that are watching the Superman movie that are learning about crypto. They can read about crypto, and those are probably the same people that play Marvel Rivals and love playing as Jeph the Landshark. So you
And
get those two
Crypto-
crowds together.
And Crypto currently, as of last week, has his own solo series
Yes, he does.
written by Ryan North, who also wrote that really good Squirrel Girl series a couple years ago.
Yes. So that's fucking cool. I think that's
Yeah.
great. And in this preview book, we get a very cool spreadsheet page of one of the variant covers by Greg Capullo of Batman and Deadpool fighting in like a sewer.
Which looks awesome, but it almost looks like Deadpool has a pair of titties on him.
Yeah.
That's how big his pecs are.
This man is tittied up.
That's how big his pecs are in that picture.
But this is cool, man. Like, this is exciting. We're in a cool time now. And then, like, on top of that, they're fucking bringing back Age of Apocalypse books. Headlined by Gambit, with art by the lead artist from Batman and Robin that I was a big fan of before I dropped the book. I literally dropped the book right after they left. And then they dropped the book, and now they're going on to fucking X-Men Alpha of Apocalypse. And
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I requested a very specific cover, and good old Wayne said it's already pre-ordered for you, buddy. And it is the exclusive variant Joe Mad cover. He is returning to Age of Apocalypse after doing all the artwork covers for it in the 90s. He is back for this cover, and I'm so fucking stoked, dude.
Hell yeah.
I'm so excited.
Hell yeah.
And there is a cool picture here of interior art. If you have any questions of what it's going to look like, this is how all the art. Remember when I was hyping up Batman and Robin? This is how all the art looked inside that book. This person's kind of like a new age type of Joe Mad with like the exaggerated muscles and all that, and great dynamic poses. That's what I would compare them to, and I'm very happy they're on this book because I think it keeps that aesthetic and that vibe. So, very exciting to say the least. Oh, yeah, and this got announced. This is a cool year, man. We're getting Spider-Man 94. They're finishing up the story of the animated series.
Oh yeah, and it's written by J.M. I'm gonna butcher his last name. Demetrius.
DeMatteis.
Demetrius.
Yeah.
Demetrius. Yeah.
So,
Who's? I mean, he's like a top 10 Spider-Man writer by far.
Oh,
in my
yeah,
opinion.
absolutely. So we kind of know where they end up. If you watch X-Men 97, you kind of see MJ and Peter. So now we're figuring out what happened in between the end where MJ's gone of the show and now he's with her. You see her like for like a split second with him. Now we're going to figure out what happened in between, and I'm very, very stoked for that. So, yeah, very excited. So there's a lot of cool stuff happening, man. Modern comics are in a great spot, honestly. This with like,
I
of
think
course,
so. Yeah.
the Ultimates and the Absolute Universe, like everything is firing on all cylinders. I'm very, very happy with what's going on with comics now.
It's exciting.
And
It's an
Punisher's
exciting
back.
time to be a reader.
Punisher's getting his own series again, finally. So, very
What's the
exciting.
tagline? Welcome back, Frank.
It says, "Welcome back, Frank," because we've had that other
Gosh.
Punisher, that blonde dude, forever.
But
everyone hates.
that's also the name of the first arc that Garth Ennis wrote for Punisher.
Oh, was it?
In his Marvel Knights series. Yeah,
Oh,
it's Welcome
I
Back,
still have
Frank.
yet to read that.
You should.
I
You should.
have
I've
one of the
read the
trade
whole.
I have one of the trade paperbacks, but I don't know which one.
I've read that whole run, and it's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, on the same vibe of modern comics, this has been a fun book. It's only issue 1, so maybe it could go downhill. But issue 1 was a lot of fun. Spider-Man and
Could
Wolverine.
go.
This book is the epitome of like 90s comic books in like a modern day.
Who's drawing that?
That's how I'm opening it up here to see. Like we get cool 90s art. We get fucking the green M&M, not with the heels though. Green M&M on the back, you know? That's the
Oh, not the green M&M.
We got the green
No.
M&M and shit, you know what I'm saying? The artist for this is I'm going to butcher this. Kari Andrews. It's Kaare Andrews. But there are all the interiors are what you get on the cover. Like it's all this amazing hyper stylized art. And honestly, I was looking at this art and it reminded me of Danger Girl so much. With this art
I kind of
style.
see it. I kind of see it. Yeah.
Yeah, especially when he draws men and stuff. This looks straight out of like the 90s. It's kind of blurry for you, but it's definitely that like 90s aesthetic to it. Like right there.
Ah, you
Great.
said that, and now I just
Great
miss
image.
Danger Girl now.
Yeah.
I miss Danger Girl so much.
I would love a Danger Girl reboot with this guy doing the art for it because it would be awesome.
Yeah,
I
that'd be
think.
sick.
Especially
That'd
because
be really
they
sick.
draw like some of their poses too are like fucking. They look crazy in this. They look so awesome. And they do have like little hints of, you know, they talk about Peter's parents. They were spies. So we do get like a little bit of like Danger Girl-esque like spy action here of the Parkers, you know? So I'm like, but like this face here, like this is something that would be in Danger Girl. Like absolutely. So it's
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
yeah. So
I
I'd
could
highly
see
recommend-
him I could see him drawing Johnny Barracuda by far. I could see him do that.
That would be sick. And here, look at this fucking page here.
Make a red.
That
And
looks-
Craven?
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Listen, it's Spider-Man and Wolverine. Got to get both the villains in.
Yeah, fair enough. I think I might have to read that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything about it. I want to say it's good. You know, you get the usual people online that are like, "But why is this like this?" And I'm like, dude, it was just fun. I had a good time with it. You got to realize, like, this book, I don't even think it's anything about its canon. So it's just like a for fun little mini series that's gonna last 5 issues, then go away. That's literally all it is. And I had a good time with it. So I'm excited for issue 2. I think comes out today. At the time of this recording, I think I got to go pick it up. So
Oh yeah? Okay.
yeah, so I think it does. And yeah, and then I've also been picking up the compact editions are back. So I've been
Oh,
picking
that's
those
right,
up.
eh?
Yeah, they took a hiatus and now they're back full force. I'm missing one, but I got 3 of the 4 that came out. They have released Batwoman Elegy, which is cool because I've been wanting to read some Batwoman stuff. And I didn't know how cool this art is in her book. Like, she has some really interesting looking art, which I think is very cool. Then I picked up, this is actually one that I'm very excited for because I believe this theme is coming to Six Flags in New England for Halloween time. And it's because DC is a part of Six Flags. The Deceased series with all the zombies.
Oh yeah.
And a great back cover here of Death of Superman, but Lois is a fucking zombie. Like,
Yeah,
that's so cool.
I like that a lot.
And it's a book I already own, but I bought the compact edition because I love it so much. Kingdom Come. Because this is one that we said on this podcast should be made into a compact edition, and here it is in my hand. Many issues later. I own it after we said it should be made. And they're also making The Authority coming out soon. So, like, there's a lot of books and Long Halloween that also came out, so I actually have that on my shelf. So, like, all these books that we said should be coming out as compact editions are coming out, and it's really exciting.
Right. That's really, really sick.
And I think they announced it, too, that the Marvel Premiere Collection, after we said it, I think they're making Civil War.
The first one?
Yeah, let me see here. I thought I saw it. Yeah, they are. And we literally said that, like, 5 issues ago? I forgot the issue we were talking about, like, the premiere editions. And Old Man Logan, which we also said they should make. The next 3 are Old Man Logan, Civil War, and Hawkeye. That really good Hawkeye series that the show is based off of.
Yes.
And I'm like, see, this is what you should have started with. These are 3 great books. you know. So yeah, this is what you start with. But yeah, two of them we've already said they should make, and they're fucking doing it. So cool.
It didn't start off too hot from what I remember.
The which one? Civil
With the
War?
Marvel, no, the Marvel premiere, like
No.
when they announced that.
Yeah, because it was weird books. It was like that random Black Panther story. It was Fantastic Four. Which Fantastic Four was it? Solve Everything it was called. Like, I've never heard of that series. And then Captain America Winter Soldier, you know, that's iconic because, you know, the debut of Winter Soldier. And then Daredevil came out just in time for the show. So that's the only one I bought. It's the only one I got. Maybe I'll go back, but the issue is the price. They're $5-6 more than the compact editions. So it's like it defeats the purpose.
It really does.
Yeah.
It really does.
But hey, they're making the series we said they should make, so I'm very happy about that. But the compact editions continue to be fucking home runs. Like they're still great. Like even the art in this one, like because you know it has like that watercolor style. In Kingdom Come, it's really well done in this small book, so it looks great still. It's still pretty vibrant. Like this lineup here, it looks really good. So yeah, I think absolute W. Keep these coming. I will buy them, even if they're, like I said, if they're books I already own, I will continue to just buy them anyway, because they're cool. I'm one of those. I'll support it until the day I die. I'm actually thinking of having a separate shelf just for my compact editions, because it's getting to that point. I have so many, and I'm like, all right, maybe I should separate them, give them their own little area.
I really like the idea of compact editions, don't get me wrong. For me personally, I wouldn't get them because I tried to go for like the regular size trays or maybe something slightly oversized because I want to see that art as big as I can, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, that makes total sense. So that's like the only thing too. It's like these are more like costly ones, like cost saving. So it's like, say if you
cost effective.
Yeah, it's like say like if you are in a pinch, like damn, I do want that big one, but I really want to read it and I don't want to do digital. It's like, all right, I got $9.99 to spare, you know?
Yeah.
Or if you're in Canada, $13.50. You have $13.50 to spare. But yeah, and they also release Static. The DC release of Static though, not the OG. But they released that also, and I have that too. So I do have to pick up Superman Birthright. I think that's the only one I'm missing, is Superman Birthright. But I got everything else, so I see this as a win, a huge win for DC. So Marvel,
I see this as an absolute win.
Change your price. If you change your price in your Premier collections, I will buy even the ones I don't care about. I will buy them. So, because the thing is, like, I never read Batwoman Elegy, but I hear great things about it, and I see people talking about it. This is the one that has a lot of like the primary like red colors in it. Like this is the one that set her up for what she is now. So I think it's like a must-have. And I've slowly been getting through my Jim Mahfood collection. I am almost done with having like all of his trade paperback books. Not the individual, but like the trade paperbacks. I just picked up his 40-ounce collected, which slapped me in the face when I read it because I was like, holy shit, this is his anthology book, which I'm also making an anthology, which is done. So I was like, I wish I had this when I was making my anthology because there's so much cool shit he put in here that not ripping it, but like could be like used for like anyone else's anthology, like little in between page stuff that I'm like, oh shit, that's cool. Why didn't I think of that? And it makes me want to do my next anthology in my complete like cartoon art style like he does, because this whole thing is that cartoon style, and I really love drawing in my like Sheedy and K style. And now I'm like, I kind of want to do just the whole book like that, you know, because I love it so much. But we got titties in this. It's awesome, you know. Good shit on a clown.
Hell yeah.
Good shit. So yeah, that's what I've been getting. Anything you've been reading recently?
I just finished not too long ago reading Superman for All Seasons, and I loved it.
Oh really? I never even Superman for All Seasons. Have I even heard of that?
It's written by Jeph Loeb, drawn by Tim Sale, the Dream Team.
Oh, I've seen this cover all the time. The bulky Superman with the big ass jaw. I love this. Superman. I love this. So yeah, I've seen this a ton, but I've never read it. Is it good?
It might be a hot take. I don't know. This is a very beloved Superman story.
Okay.
If All-Star Superman didn't exist, Superman for All Seasons, I think, would be unequivocally the greatest Superman story ever told.
But it's like outshined.
It's outshined by All Star
Yeah.
Superman.
And
But
also Superman still is very highly loved. It's actually getting an audiobook. You can read along while listening to the people doing. They have voice actors doing all the dialogue, which is
that's
cool.
crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
But like I said, Superman for All Seasons is a highly, highly regarded Superman story, and I love it. I really enjoyed that story. It's only 4 issues.
Yeah.
It doesn't overstay its welcome,
Are they like
but it
oversized issues or
it
or
might
just
be
like
slight. It
maybe
might
like a
be
little bit?
slightly oversized.
I'm just wondering if
No,
they
it
have
isn't
any.
actually. It isn't. No, it's just like a standard page count for what it
Oh,
was
okay.
back then.
I was just
Yeah,
curious because I was like, it'd be cool to have that as a compact. That would be a cool compact edition that I would love to buy.
but if you read like or if you have like the deluxe edition, then you'll have like a bunch of like Jeph will outline like what his process was to like creating the script,
That's
bouncing
cool.
ideas. Tim shares like some sketches and stuff like that, like in the extras.
That's the dream team too. Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale, like, dude,
It is.
Jeff Loeb's amazing. I love that guy.
You know what's funny is Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale, when you think about it, didn't even create that many comics.
Yeah,
But
that's
what
what
they
I'm-
did
Their
create,
lineup is crazy.
it was great. It was great.
Like, even Jeff, like Jeff has gone on to make movies and TV. Like I remember I was watching Smallville with Justine, and if I'm correct, he wrote an episode of Smallville. Yeah, he did. So I remember watching it, and it was like written by Jeff Loeb, and I was like, huh? And I like pulled out my phone, and I was like, oh yeah, Jeff Loeb. Like holy
Well,
shit.
the creators of Smallville have actually indicated Superman for All Seasons as being like their inspiration for creating
Oh, okay.
Smallville.
Like, I mean, look at this lineup here for Jeff, man. You got Batman Hush. You got the current Hush 2 that's going on. Daredevil Yellow, which is really good. Long Halloween. Superman for All Seasons. He worked on the that like late 90s, early 2000s Batman run that everyone shows pictures from, that Jim Lee era.
Yep.
Superman Batman, of course, that I love with Ed McGuinness. Like his stuff is just fucking great. He's worked on Hulk.
I really like
stuff
that
is
Hulk
really
run.
good. Oh, he's
That
done the-
Hulk run is
oh,
really
he did-
dumb fun.
He did the Darkness Batman team up, the crossover book.
I didn't know that.
Writers
Okay.
Jeff Loeb and Scott Lobdell. I said that wrong.
Lobdell, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
John John was talking about Hulk, right?
Oh yeah, John Escudero,
Yeah.
from Comic Book Click,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was talking about that. He loves that Hulk run, right?
And I was talking about him too. I was like, it might not be like an all-time great run. For most people, it might not be like an all-time great run,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's like dumb. It's dumb fun.
Yeah,
It's like a turn your brain off and just read, and it's like
have a good
oh,
time.
there's like a lot of action going on. There's a lot of this. There's a lot of that, and it's Ed McGuinness drawing Hulk. Like, how can you not have fun with that?
Oh, I'm trying to remember too. Yeah, dude, listen, you don't gotta convince me. I hear Ed McGuinness on anything, and I'm buying it. So
Right? It's so much fun. So much fun.
And I had to make sure. Yeah, he was the one. Him and Ed reunited on Fighting American that we were talking about last month. 'Cause I was like, I didn't see Fighting American on his lineup, and I was like, let me just make sure. Yeah, he did write Fighting American in the issues.
Oh,
we still
yeah.
have yet to read those that like 2 or 3 issue one he wrote and drew with Ed.
We do need to cover that.
Yeah, that one's fun. So there is something I did get for dirt cheap at the shop. I got it for like, I think it was $10. No, $8. I got this for, and it
Okay.
was the whole 4-issue miniseries of Hellshock by Jay
That's
Lee.
the Jay Lee book, right?
Yes, and Jay Lee is coming to a con near me, so you know I'm getting Hellshock #1 signed by Jay. That is no question. But I got all 4 issues, which is pretty
That's
cool.
really sick.
Great covers too, man. So that was cool. I got it for like $8 at the shop. I just saw it laying there, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like they marked it down, so I grabbed it. Why not? Can't go wrong with
That's
some
really sick.
some Jay Lee. And then the last thing I picked up here is actually an ode to last month's show. I went to the shop and I got curious, and I found it in the wild for $3. Hawkman #0, the cover we were hyping up.
Oh yeah,
I found it.
yeah, I remember
This was
that.
the one. This was your vote, I believe. For oh no, yeah, wasn't
It
this one your vote?
it wasn't, but it was from that series, like
Yes, it
from
was.
that run
Oh, I remember I
specifically.
looked it up and then I found this one and I was like, this is also an
Yes,
underrated cover. Yeah, so I found it in the wild, which is pretty awesome for
yeah,
$3.
it's really really sick.
So I said, fuck it, why not get it? In honor of that fun episode we did last month. Go out and check it. We talked about our favorite Justice League characters and their each of their favorite covers, our personal favorites. So that sentence was all fucked up. I messed it up, but it's okay. Go listen to it. Are you ready to talk about Stan Lee's greatest creation of all time?
Oh, I'm ready to talk about this.
It's
I'm
time
so
to
ready to
review.
talk about this.
We're reviewing episodes 1 and 2 because it's a 2-part episode. So I thought that'd be perfect to start with. Stripperella. The name of the episode is Beauty and the Obese, Part 1. For people that don't know, Stripperella is a creation of Stan Lee. I just hit my mic. A creation of Stan Lee that got picked up by Spike TV as an animated show, like an adult animated show. This is like when adult animated shows were all the fucking rage, man. We're getting things like Family Guy, Simpsons was long thriving. What else is out? We're getting shit like fucking Squidbillies and the Boondocks was coming out. Like this was a fun time for adult animation. And Spike TV was getting in on a piece of that pie. And there's a lot of imagery of pie in this. You know what I'm saying?
Like that
Had to
that
channel my
late
inner Sinai
90s
for that sentence.
It's like that late 90s to mid 2000s period. It was a great time for
This
adult animated shows.
and this is a great time for TV because there would never be something like this ever made ever again. You will never see this. Like a show like this would be demonetized on YouTube. This wouldn't be on any streaming
would.
service. Like we have to watch this not on a streaming service because it's nowhere to be found on these fucking websites, that charge you for it because it would just be taken off. Like there's no way shows like this could be made. And I love it. It's so cheesy and funny, but somehow you will see they somehow craft a coherent story that is more coherent than some Marvel movies and most DC movies. I had to change my wording there. So first of all, the theme song of Stripperella, amazing.
Gabe, I would actually like to bring up a point about this.
Okay, what?
So this, I agree. It's a really good theme song. It's actually a revised version of the original song.
Wait, there's an original version of the song?
The original version of the song is sang by Kid Rock.
My name is Kid, who I believe is in a future episode.
He is. I think, or I guess, they couldn't clear that like when they released the DVD, so they just made a new song.
Oh wait, I think I found it. There's a song. Called Erotica.
Yeah, it is floating on the internet. Like you can easily see it.
Wow, that is crazy, dude. So there's a site called Retro Junk that just documents everything retro. God, I love the aesthetic of this site, dude. Have you seen this website? I love the aesthetic.
It's very like Newgroundsy.
Yeah, I fucking love it. It's awesome. Damn, they got like Spike TV promos of the show. That is cool that this is all documented. Wow.
Yeah, really sick. It's really sick.
That is awesome. I got to go through that site later. Damn, that's cool as hell. I didn't know that he did the original song.
But I just mentioned that just to say that like the revised version is so much better than the original Kid Rock version. Like it's so much better. And I actually kind of like Kid Rock from that time period. Not so much now.
Yeah. He was
but
over
from
brother.
that time period.
He was over like
he
over.
was for a little bit. He was, but the new song is so much better.
Yeah, it's so catchy. Yeah, I do like it.
It's really comic booky. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of like the Batman '66 theme song.
I will say so. I actually watched a show on my own a couple months ago, like before we decided to do it. So I was watching it, and I got to like episode maybe 4 or 5, and I was like, Oh, dude, we have to review episodes 1 and 2 on the show. Like, without question, we have to review it. We have to. So I stopped watching, but then I do know it does get to a point where the art changes halfway through the season.
Okay.
Where, like, her look changes and everything. And she just looks completely different. And I kind of don't like it. There's something about this style from, like, the first couple episodes that I like more. This is what it ends up looking like. Like, it's a little bit more detailed. And I don't know. There's something about it.
Yeah.
But there's something about, like, the earlier style that I like more. Like, with the white eyes and stuff. Like, it looks cool, you know? I don't know what it is.
Go back to the second style real quick. You know what it kind of looks like? The second style kind of looks like the Static Shock show a little bit.
It does. It does, dude. Her boobs get comically large in the like larger. Like, look at this. That is insane, dude.
It really is.
There was something about this style of these first 2 episodes that I like more. I don't know what it is. I think it's the white eyes of the costume. There is promotional art though, which, as you can see here, of like Bruce Timm doing some Stripperella stuff.
That really sick. Really sick.
Bruce Timm. Yeah, there is some Bruce Timm stuff out there. I know there was ads that used it, which I think is very, very cool. And Stripperella did have a comic book that came out after, though, if I'm correct, where she has red hair. By Deep Cut Presentations and POW, whatever. Stan Lee did greenlight it, though. Because, Marvel wasn't making this. But yeah, I think that's what it is, too. This first style looks like Batman Beyond.
Which is funny you say that. It's funny you say that, Gabe, because I want you to look up who the director is for the first 2 episodes. And I want you to look at his credits.
Director Mario Peluso?
No, Kevin Altieri.
Kevin Altieri.
I want you to look at his credits.
All right, movies. Oh my God, Gen 13.
Well, not just that. He worked on Batman the Animated Series episodes as well.
Holy crap! This guy's awesome. Oh my God, he's done everything. Mask the Phantasm, Scooby Doo, NFL Rush Zone. Yo, he's done everything. Wait, did he work on? Okay, he did work on some comics. Because I know I've seen his name on some covers, and it was Superman and Batman magazine.
I didn't know he worked on comics.
Yeah. That's cool, man.
That's really cool.
Damn. Whoa, look at this art he's made. Holy shit. Kevin. Damn, this is cool.
Yo.
But yeah, there was something about that style, and I see why now, though. It looks like all the shows I loved growing up. Damn, man. Well, we start off the show. I like that one of the first words in the show is the word vavoom, someone says in this. The episode starts with a nice runway show. We see all these women walking down, modeling their clothes, and one of the skinny models, just out of nowhere, she gets to the end. She actually looks anorexic almost. You can see, like, her sternum.
Yeah,
to show how skinny she is. She just turns insanely obese. And you know, like on the Hulk, like it's like, oh, and all his muscles start popping out. It was that, but instead of muscles, it was just fat and rolls and double chins. And she's like, oh, and she inflates like an inflatable. It fucking falls on one of like the designers in the crowd that's watching the show, and you're left like, what the fuck just happened?
Like, what?
So then it just auto cuts to the strip club, which is, you're going to be seeing a lot of this strip club. This is where Stripperella works, also known as erotica. The first thing we see of the strip club is an underage kid trying to get in.
Oh, yeah.
And it is like, the kid is like a 16-year-old black kid with like curly hair, and his ID, if you're wondering why I'm describing all his characteristics, his ID was like a 90-year-old white woman with gray hair, and I forgot what her name is, but it was like obviously a woman's name. And the bodyguard looks at it, and then he moves the card and looks at the kid, and he goes, "You can go in."
So yeah, good enough.
And the kid's kid's like, oh shit, and he gets in. And dude, there are some great lines just in this opening couple minutes here. So the kid walks in, and we're greeted by the owner of the club. He's talking about, he goes, our upscale establishment is the epitome of quality, prestige, and class. And right as he says that, a fat construction worker walks in, he goes,
I wrote that too.
He goes, let's see some titties. Titties,
yeah. I wrote that too.
And then immediately after he says that, they cut the two guys watching the stripper dancing, and they just show full-on boob. She just rips her bra off, and her titties are bouncing. And the guy goes, her left one is like a tennis ball, and the right one is like
and
a
her
peach.
right one is like a peach.
Sweet, juicy peach. Dude, what a fucking great opening to this show.
We're not even like 5 minutes into the show.
So we meet a stripper named Persephone, and she's waiting on her boyfriend to show up, and she's nervous to meet his brother. She's like, oh, I've been seeing this guy for a while, and I'm really nervous to meet his brother tonight. And she goes, oh, there he is. And you see him wave. She goes, hey, Dave. And he waves, and the curtain moves, and his brother is a conjoined twin. And you meet the brother. She's like, hi, Dave. He goes, hey, this is my brother Cliff. And he's like, hello. So like, one has a British accent, and even the bartender asks. She's like, he's like, how hasn't she met the other one before? What the fuck? And that is a running gag for the first couple episodes of this, and it's amazing. The work they do with them is hilarious.
It's a really good gag, yeah.
So the manager comes in, he's like, where is Erotica? She has to go on next. We can't find her. And by the way, the owner of the club is voiced by SpongeBob.
I did not know that.
That is SpongeBob SquarePants. Wondering if the owner of a strip club.
That's hilarious.
Honestly, the voice cast for this is like some legendary names, which people will see. We'll talk about a little later on. As you know, obviously, Pam Anderson is Stripperella, and I will say right now, ahead of anything else, this may be Pam Anderson's best fucking work, dude. Some of her lines she says in this are fucking gold. I don't know who directed her, but holy shit, they did an amazing job.
Yeah, it's the best work. It's the best I've ever heard her like just deliver lines. It's incredible. Yeah.
So while he's bugging out trying to find out where Erotica is, we see that she's in a lion pit in her Stripperella. They do whenever they show her, they play the song. And she's saving a baby, and the mom's going, oh my god, Stripperella, save my baby! Oh my god, save my baby! And the dude goes, Jesus Christ, lady, shut the hell up!
You're screaming in my ears! Will you please shut up?
She's like, oh, I'm sorry. So Stripperella is with these lions, and she's like, oh, she got the baby in her arms like a fucking football player. She's like, ooh. And then she jukes the lions, and she goes, you want the baby? Go get the baby, and throws it in the fucking air. And it hits the ground, and the lions pounce on it, and when they rip it apart, they realize it's like a bowling ball. Where the fuck did she get that from? I love cartoons, man.
And then right after that, her song plays again, and I wrote, the Stripperella's theme plays whenever she does something heroic? Question mark.
That's
and then later on, and then later on, come to find out, no, they just play the song whenever the fuck they want to.
And it's funny, she gives the baby back to the mom. She's like, there you go, saved your baby. And she was like, thank you, but that blanket was a family heirloom. And then she's talking to the owner of the zoo. She's like, you really should move your playscape away from the lion pit. And you see there's kids swinging, and they're swinging over the pit, and there's even one other kid dangling over the pit holding onto the railing. And then she's like, also, you shouldn't be keeping lions. And she gives like a whole humanely lesson on how these lions need to be kept in their home. And she makes sure to emphasize in Africa.
I didn't know Stripperella was a humanitarian.
And then she rushes back to the strip club just in time for her performance. They say she's coming on, and then bam, she shows up on stage. And by the way, at this point, we're only like 6 minutes in to the show. All of this has happened, including the intro.
So much going on.
So much has happened. So at this point, we get a fully animated strip show of Stripperella. We get every thrust, every boob jiggle physic, every bent over ass shot, every pole ride, like everything. It's full length that we get.
I don't know if you caught this game, but at one point, Stripperella's dancing. There's this guy in the background getting a lap dance, and he shoves the girl who's giving him a lap dance off of her, just so he can see Stripperella dance.
There's also another guy as she's dancing, just constantly going, "I love you, I love you," every time she dances. So she's like untying her top, and it keeps cutting to the guys, and they're like, and there's like drool coming from their mouths, and like more laces come off her top. And right when her top's about to come off, her belly button ring starts going off. She's like, "Oh, gotta go." So she goes outside the club, and she goes behind a tree where she can still be seen, and she strips down in her clothes and then pops up the other side of the tree like we couldn't see her, and she's like, "Evildoers, prepare to become evil don'ters."
And then her hair is flying and everything. And then there's a guy. Well, the reason why her hair is flying is because there's a guy with a leaf blower blowing in front of her, and he's like, "Do you mind?"
So she gets on her motorcycle, man, and she speeds down to a local mall.
Stripperella.
And she's like, she's running.
Driving.
She's running in, like, she drives into the mall, and then she's like running through a store. It's like a clothing store, and she goes, "Ooh, 20% off." She grabs a pair of heels.
And she's like, yeah, she's like feeling the material of the heels.
And she's like, "Oh," and she snaps back into it, and she goes into like the back room, and she goes to like a scanner, and she scans the tattoo on her ass, and the code says 0069. That's like her 007 code.
That's literally what I wrote. I said, "Does she have the passcode on her fucking ass?"
Yeah, because why not, dude? Where else would you put it? So this is where we meet Chief Stroganoff, and his intro is great. So like she goes into the room, and he's like in a chair. So I love what I love about Stroganoff is he's such an idiot. She walks in, and he's like, "Oh, glad you could take the case, Stripperella." She's like, "I don't know what the case is." He's like, "Oh, you're the best." She's like, "What is it?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, here, let me show you." So he's in a wheelchair, and he's trying to like get out of the wheelchair. And then he just steps out of it and goes, "Thank God I'm not a cripple." And throws it in a fire pit. Sets it on fire because it wasn't working. And he turns the TV on, and they watch the news. And this is where we get the plot. All right, and we're now getting the plot. We find out that there are supermodels that are now becoming, as they said, disgustingly obese all of a sudden. And they're noticing that it's all coming from the Pretty Girl Modeling Agency. You know, those seem to be the people behind all this. And it's run by a man named Narisek Rotkod. Narisek Rotkod. I could never say his name whenever I was writing this.
Something like that.
So, Narisek Rotkod, we meet him. Stripperella is speaking to a woman in the office of Pretty Girl Modeling. And the girl's name is Cliche. She's like, "Do my elbows look fat? Last time I was here, he said my elbows look fat." She got an elbow job.
Heard that before.
So Stripperella's like, "Yeah, you look great." You look awesome. So this guy comes out, and he's like berating his assistant. He's like, "Oh, remind me to fire you after you do all my work and hit on my meetings." And then he's like, "Oh my God, you're perfect." And he runs over to Stripperella, or Erotica, we'll be calling her both, and he pulls her into the office, and he's like studying her body very closely. And he tells her that, she straight up asks him, she's like, "So what's the deal with these strippers getting fat?" And he's like, "I have nothing to do with that. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm gonna go to another room and leave you alone for a couple minutes. Goodbye." It's literally what he says.
As he's examining her, he said something along the lines of like, "Oh yeah, even your toes are like 10 centimeters apart. It's perfect." I'm like, "Wow, this guy's a gooner for real, man."
Yeah, he was like, "Your navel's the perfect amount of space away from your vagina."
Yes.
That's crazy, bro. That's insane
Next
to say.
Level gooner.
So when he leaves, Stripperella, she goes, "I gotta use my tongue ring." And she goes, she's like scanning documents, and it looks like she's licking the paper with her tongue ring.
Yeah.
So she's scanning these documents from his locker, and she throws it in because he comes in. He's like, "Oh, great news for you! You're perfect for this new job we got. You're gonna be in a music video for a band called Octopus." And she's like, "Octopus! I love Octopus." So
is that before or after she's in the room and she's examining? Oh no, that's before. My bad.
Oh
My
wait,
bad. I'm ahead of myself. I'm ahead of myself.
So
it's all right.
so-
I'm ahead of myself.
So now we jump to the music video. And she's talking to Cliche, who was, just got the elbow job. Oh no, you are right. So when or I don't know if this is you're gonna talk about, but after she got taken into the rock
Where she's
guy,
like examining the girls, like on the computer there.
oh, that's later. That's later.
That's later.
That's
Yes,
later.
yes. Okay,
So
okay.
I forgot to mention though, Rotcod said to Cliche after taking her before examining her, he looks at Cliche and goes, "Your thumbs look fat." And the other girls laugh at her. I forgot to mention that. So now at the music video, Stripperella is with Cliche, and Cliche is like, "Oh my god, look, I got a boob job now." And she goes, "Since I saw you yesterday?" And she's like, "Yeah, don't they look great? I got them done by this guy, Dr. Cesarean." Like a C-section. And she's hyping him up how great he is and how she goes, look how perfect, he made my nipples perfect. And he's like, yeah, he gave me new elbows, new thumbs, and new boobs. So she puts the card away, and the music video begins. Cliche begins to become fucking enormous on a little jump pad above the pool, and she splashes in to the point she causes a goddamn tsunami, knocking the water everywhere. And she fell so hard into the pool, she got stuck in the fucking bottom where the water drains. And she started choking. So Stripperella's like, I gotta do something about it. So she ties a tree branch to her leg as she's suffocating and pulls her out and starts giving her mouth to mouth after unplugging her because she was like, she doesn't have breath.
The lead singer goes, "Man, this would be really hot if she wasn't fat."
He goes, this would be so hot if she looked like how she did 5 minutes ago.
Fuck.
So when she saves her life, Cliché's like, oh my god, look at me. You should have just let me die. I'm so fat. So she saves the day. We go back to the bar where we see Persephone, the stripper from earlier that's with the conjoined twins. And she turns a cherry stem into an Eiffel Tower. And the British brother Cliff goes, where did you learn that? Whore school?
School.
And then he goes, oh, I could do that too. Her boyfriend, the other guy, the other conjoined twin, Dave. And he starts choking on the cherry. And Persephone saves his life. And if I'm correct, did the cherry come out of Cliff's mouth? Like it went to the other brother?
It did.
And then she's like, oh my god, we gotta go. We need to be alone. All us two. And then she walks away with them, with all three of them. And this is where we see Stripperella uploading her tongue scans of all the girls. And she's trying to find something in common with all these girls. And the one thing that really stuck out to me was the person they all slept with.
I wrote that too.
He goes, I can't see anything in common with all these girls besides the fact they slept with Charlie Sheen.
Yuck. That's like a really, really early dig at Sheen.
Man.
Like even before like the Tiger Blood stuff.
Yeah. And then this is where we find out she realizes, oh my god, there is something else in common with all these women. They all had boob jobs recently done by Dr. Cesarean. So she pulls the card out that Cliche gave her. And then we meet Dr. Cesarean. He's like, yes, I will see you in a casket to one of his girls leaving the office. And he starts maniacally laughing. And you realize he's just like in his lobby. So everyone's like, what the fuck? But this is a great time to mention that Dr. Cesarean is played by none other than Luke Skywalker himself. Mark Hamill, the Joker.
I did not know that. I noticed
because the Cesarean laughed, the ha ha ha. It was the Joker. if you listen back now, you're gonna hear animated series Joker. That's what the laugh
Oh,
is.
that's really fascinating.
Like
okay,
I said, dude,
I did not know that.
The team for this is like all-star. Like it's insane. Like let me see if I can pull up just like episode 1. Episode 1 cast of Stripperella. So like just in this one episode, we had this shows everyone for the series. So we'll talk about it after. I don't want to spoil anything. So let's jump in. So we got issue 2. We got episode 2, Beauty and the Obese, part 2, because that's how last episodes ended with Dr. Caesarean being revealed as the mastermind. So, by the way, every time I never skip the intro. You gotta watch it every fucking time. It's great.
You have to.
You have to. And episode 2 kicks off with a great joke. It is a nun walking. A nun walks into a cosmetic surgeon office, and they ask her, "What's your name?" And she goes, "My name is Sister Mary. Had a little
Mary
lamb."
had a lamb.
And she's there to meet Dr. Caesarean, who's she walks in. He's literally adjusting his ear that is not on his head. He is like moving his ear on his head. So it's our little some fishy shit going on here. So
I'm sure Mick Foley does that too.
So he's like smitten by Sister Mary. He's like, "What do you need? A boob job? A butt job? What do you need?"
No, he didn't even say butt job. He said, "You want an ash job?" I was like, "Whoa, whoa, doctor, chill."
And the whole time, what I love about the show is the joke of saying the obvious things. There's something about this show doing it that is fucking hilarious that other shows I feel like struggle with doing. But for some reason, the show nails it. Because he just says, "Oh yeah, but except for room 3. Don't go into room 3. Room 3 is off limits." And he tells the assistant, "Hey, don't go into room 3." And she's like, "I know, room 3 is off limits." So it's obviously, Stripperella's like, "Oh, I gotta check out room 3. Something's going on in there."
It's so... You know what it is? It's so like Saturday morning cartoon in a way.
Yeah,
like...
it's so corny, but I love it. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
so
I do too.
she's like, "Oh shit, gotta go," because she realizes the time and she leaves. She has to get back to the strip club. Because by the way, spoiler alert: Sister Mary Had a Lamb was Stripperella. I know. Didn't mean to hold that information from you. So now we see the conjoined twins, Cliff and Dave. They're coming to see Persephone at the club again. And they show their IDs to the bouncer, and Dave and Cliff each have their own IDs. Dave shows his to the bouncer, and the bouncer's like, "All right, you're good." And then the bouncer looks at Cliff's, and he's like, "I don't think you're old enough to get in here." I remind you, they are conjoined twins. But right at that point, Persephone comes out, and she's like, "Oh my god, like, Dave," and gives him a hug, and Cliff is like, ugh, like he's disgusted by her. And, but then we find out that poor Cliff, he's going back to London. This is the last time we're going to see Cliff. So Cliff is going back to London, but Dave is staying. So he can spend time with Persephone. So Stripperella is outside of like a glass building. And she uses like her Catwoman claws, like they go shink, and she cuts a hole in the glass. And this is the most genuine line that I've heard her say, Pam Anderson say to the show. She's just like, "Oh my god, I forgot I can cut glass with my nipples. I could have broken a nail doing that." But she says it in a way that sounds so real, like she was actually like, "Oh fuck." Such a great line read, dude. Oh man. So then she tries to open the door for room 3. And she's like, and she starts like finger banging the doorknob. And she's like, "Oh, wrong finger. Let me try this one. It's the middle finger." And she shoves it in and it works. And then you see like these vials of like floating women body parts, which is kind of gross, actually. It's like very like disturbing. That's just like floating body parts inside these containers. She finds a big container that just says breast implants that turn the woman fat. She's like, "Oh my god." And then that's when you see that damn Narsek Rotcod. He comes down. He's the mastermind. He's the mastermind all along. But wait, he goes behind a little thing there, and he changes his clothes, and he's like, "Ah, you dumb bitch. Look at my name. Narsek Rotcod is Dr. Caesarean backwards." And then I was like, that is genuinely, I did not put that together. They actually got me.
You're underselling this a little bit, Gabe, because before that, he goes, I'm going to find this really cool, actually. Give me 1 second. And then he goes behind like a closed off curtain to like change. So then Stripperella sits down. And it's like elevator music is playing in the background while she's like waiting.
And then when he reveals who he is, she's like, but wait, you look different when I saw you. And he goes, oh yeah, you want to see something really crazy? He rips his face off and plugs his eyes, his nose, and his ears in like Mr. Potato Head.
And I was gonna say like his fucking Mr. Potato Head.
And it's the doctor from The Office. Dude, we had like 4 swerves in like 30 seconds. This is crazy. And he uses like this gas to knock Stripperella out, which he tries to run. And it cuts right to the nightclub where we see just straight tits. It's Persephone stripping on the pole, and it's just her tits are out.
Like straight tits.
Tits bouncing, jiggle physics. Like they animated. They took time to animate this. And it's crazy.
When they said the DVD was uncensored, they meant it.
Dude, and I'm looking at this and I'm like, Stanley greenlit this. He watched these episodes and was like, this is my vision. Which is like,
yeah, this is what I want.
Ultimate gooner. And that's another thing. Like so this show has a lot of explanatory lines where it's like putting like it's like word vomit to explain what's going on to the person, like obviously like what's happening, like the breast implants that turn women fat. That is a Stan Lee trope through and through. You read any Stan Lee stuff like Silver Surfer, Fantastic Four, like old Stan Lee stuff, you get all of that very word heavy, like, oh, and then I thought this. And, oh, I'm not going to... Yeah, like when she's calling them evil doers become evil don'ters. Like, that is a Stan Lee-ism through and through. So, by the way, I noticed this after, and I actually went back to episode 1 to make sure. Narsek Rotkod and Dr. Caesarian are both voiced by Mark Hamill, and I did not catch Mark Hamill voicing Rotkod in the first episode. I did not put 2 and 2 together. And it wasn't either. It wasn't until he did the review I double checked, and he's the voice for both. He just like it was subtle. You didn't notice it in episode 1, which is like such a crazy thing. So like it was obvious all along. It's the same voice actor using the same voice.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. So that was a cool little thing there. At this point though, in the strip club, Cliff is wasted. All right, he is fucking blasted right now in the club. Dave is sober. And SpongeBob, the manager, is like, should we be charging them double or like for 1 drink? Like, should we be charging them 4 instead of 2? And by the way, we haven't mentioned it, but the entire time there's also like gay jokes about the bartender. Like,
I was gonna say,
when Dave and Cliff walk in, they're like, how much for a lap? Or some dude walks in episode 1, they go, how much for a lap dance? And the bartender's like, $50 and a free shot. And he goes, sorry, I'm talking to the girl. And he's like, $55? And this whole time he's giving them the drinks, and he's like, I don't know, but I feel like they're past 4 drinks. He goes, the one of them is fucking gone. And he's like, woo, and his glasses are half hanging off. And they go on stage to dance, and Dave's like, let's get off the stage, Cliff. And he's like, no, let's live life. And they start fighting each other, aka shoving the other half of the body, and they start kicking each other with their legs. And they fall to the ground, and the bouncer grabs them. He's like, you guys got to get the hell out of here, and throws them out. And Persephone chases them outside, but she's still topless. So she runs out, just full titties out. She's like, guys, what's going on? And she's like, Cliff, I need to talk to you. Alone? So Dave just turns his head to the side, and when they show him, he's like playing with his nails, like he can't hear them. And she's like, Cliff, what is it about me that you don't like? And you find out here that it's actually kind of sad. He's like jealous of Dave. Dave had like a fun party life in college, had sex with all these women. He wasn't able to experience this. And you find out that Dave is a week older than Cliff.
Which makes no sense.
And I love that. It makes no sense that he didn't experience everything Dave did when they're conjoined. So, like, this whole scene is so fucking ridiculous. And then you find out that he's madly in love with Persephone, but he doesn't want his brother to know. That's why they're speaking alone. He feels like he could talk to her. And she just gives him a hug. But when she gives him a hug, Dave doesn't react like he's not there. He's still just like playing with his nail. So now we cut to Stripperella, and she's chained up to like a plank in Dr. Caesarian's office, and he promises that all models will pay for what they did to him. And she's like, what did models do to you? And he was basically, they were mean to me growing up. And my mom was a model, and I didn't like my mom. She's like, oh, wow. He goes, and then I became a model and became horribly disfigured because of it. And my grandparents were also killed by models. And she goes, okay, I get it. You have, like, actually viable reasons for not liking models. All right, relax. But as she's, like, talking to him, she cuts out of the bed that's there.
Yep.
And actually, before I get ahead of myself, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Before that, he tells her he's gonna put exploding implants.
Oh yeah.
And she goes, exploding implants, and dude, that was another great line because it was genuine worry. When the fucking needle came down that said exploding implants, she's like, oh my god.
Anything but that.
And this is where he says his plan, why he's trapped her, what his end goal is, and he's gonna blow up the tits of a woman on live TV during the VH1 Fashion Awards show. And and they cut to her, and the production guy's like, all right, countdown. 2 minutes, 30 seconds, 2 minutes, 29 seconds, 2 minutes, 28 seconds. And they do a full countdown, but it's just zoomed in on her tits with, like, hard nipples for the whole countdown.
And they could, you know what? It holds that shot for a while.
And they cut
like
back
a
to
good 15 seconds.
And they cut back to Dr. Caesarian, too, right after that, who's watching, and they're like, and your host, Tom Green. And then you just hear, I'm Tom Green, I'm the host. And Dr. Caesarian's like, that guy's kind of annoying, isn't he? So when he's watching the show, this is when she uses her little boot laser to open up the latch on her foot. So she jumps out, she kicks Caesarian in the face, and he's like, no, don't you dare do that. I will inject you with cellulite. She's like, no! Not cellulite! So it's this giant mech robot from like an anime with giant needles labeled cellulite. And he's trying to stab her to give her cellulite. And dude, she is fucking like, she's ducking and weaving this giant killer cellulite machine. And she throws her crotch in his face for an extended period amount of time, to the point I noticed they actually slowed down the animation. If you look at the animation, it's like a slow head whip because they wanted to really emphasize her crotch in his face. So she hits a goddamn head scissors on him and puts him on the table.
She fucking hurricaranas him off the platform.
And she lands on and then she lands on the mech robot. So it's like one movement. And she's like, oh, I forgot. What was the line she said to him here? I didn't note it, but it was like her big line. And even he was like, I don't know about that line. That didn't really sound, I don't like that line. She's like, I thought it sounded cool. But
I didn't write that one down.
She injects him with cellulite to an insane amount. He just turned into a giant fucking inflatable balloon. And now it's a rush against time. Because now she has to try to get to the awards show in time for the explosion. So as she's rushing to the awards show, we do get an image of Kathy Lee Gifford accepting an award. And she thanks the little Hispanic boys and girls that helped her win her award, and she's crying, holding her award.
She said, "I'd like to thank all the little Hispanic boys and girls who work around the clock to make my dream come true."
So Stripperella's like trying to get through traffic, and there's this old lady in front of her that just keeps moving to the same lane she is. And if you look, the old lady's like doing it on purpose. She's looking in the rearview mirror. So Stripperella drives on top of her car and lands in front of her. So the old lady gets pissed. She's like, and she speeds up next to Stripperella and flips her the bird. Stripperella's like, she's taken aback by it. I love that shit. So she goes up and she drives. She gets stopped by a train passing. So she's like, oh, she has to wait. And a big truck pulls up next to her. And what was it? It was like Ramps Incorporated or some shit.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
she's like,
yeah.
oh, how convenient. So she backs up, revs up her motorcycle, drives up the ramp over the train, lands Akira bike style, and then the train ends. Like it just stops. And she's like, oh. So she gets back on track and she heads to the award show. She drives into the award show, down the aisle, onto the stage, and jumps on this woman. And she's like, I need to save you. You've been booby trapped. I need to save you. There's a bomb in your boob. I need to cut it out. So she starts like cutting her boob out. And this woman is like moaning on the ground.
And everyone in the audience is like, what the hell's going on?
And the production guy's like, keep it panned on her. If I show a boob on TV, I'm going to win an Emmy.
Yeah, he goes, oh, diffusing a boob on live TV, I'm going to win an Emmy.
So then she cuts it out and she lifts up and the bomb looks like a tit.
Of course.
So she grabs it, puts it in a bra, and fucking launches it into the sky. You can't see me, but I'm acting this out. She launches it into the sky.
Yes.
And this shit, goddamn, gets sent to space, bro. And it explodes in space. And Stripperella has saved the day.
She sure has.
And then before we leave the award show, we cut to Woody Allen, who's at the award show. And he says, oh, geez, I haven't seen a bomb that bad since my last 10 films. Yo, you're taking shots at everybody in the first 2 episodes. Oh, man. So we cut back to the strip club to end off episode 2. And Persephone's like all upset at the bar. And she's talking to Erotica or Stripperella. And she's like, yeah, Dave left me. He's not with me anymore. Cliff went to London and Dave left me. And they go, what happened? And she goes, I slept with his brother. I don't know how he found out. And then she goes, I don't know if they're ever gonna talk to each other again. I don't know how they're dealing with it. And as they're sitting at the bar, they're looking at the TV, and it's recapping the bomb incident at the award show, and it highlights Stripperella specifically, and it's asking the question, like, who is Stripperella? And everyone knows who she is now. And now the public is dying to know who she is. And Persephone's like, oh, man, wouldn't you want to be Stripperella, Erotica? Wouldn't that be so great? And she's like, oh yeah, because I'm totally not.
Hint.
She's like,
Nudge, nudge.
And then she's like, woof. And then she realizes, she's like, oh yeah, this isn't the last we're gonna be seeing of. She goes, that's definitely not the last we're seeing of Stripperella, and this isn't the last we've seen of you, Dr. Caesarian, I think. And they tease Dr. Caesarian by showing a man in a train station with like an Inspector Gadget outfit. He's got the coat, the hat, covering his face, the big Gambit jacket covering his face.
Yes.
And he's sitting there and he stands up and he just is full of rolls and like cellulite, and when he walks there's like squishing noises, and when he walks his fucking nose falls off, so it's Dr. Caesarian. After he sneezes it falls off, and that's how the episode ends. It's fucking great. That was Stripperella episodes 1 and 2. What did you think of the first inaugural episodes of Stripperella?
Gabe, I love this.
Dude,
I love this so much.
This might be one of the best things you reviewed. This was a fucking all-time thing that we reviewed.
It was. It's so hard to nitpick at this because like
it's supposed to be dumb fun.
Yeah, and it doesn't, and like I said before we started the pod, it doesn't overstay its welcome.
No. And the whole point of the show is supposed to be stupid fun, but they somehow make a coherent story, have good comedy, and make you want to watch more episodes. Like, I'm gonna watch the rest of the series like tomorrow. Like, I have to.
Oh, of course. I think what we should do is we should probably keep reviewing these.
Yeah,
periodically.
I think we should come back to Stripperella episodes 3 and 4. Because they go by so quick. You can bust 2 episodes out each time.
Yeah, and then let's bring Sinai back for that.
Absolutely. And we were talking about it. We want to try to get Sinai's thoughts on episodes 1 and 2. Because how cool would it be to have like a compilation on YouTube, like a whole thing of every Stripperella episode reviewed in one like playlist collections? That would be great. Like I have a complete review. It's only 13 episodes. It's not a lot. It's only 1 season, 13 episodes, and that's it. By the way,
what we could do is when we review 3 and 4, in the beginning we could have Sinai give his thoughts on 1 and 2.
That is very true.
And then go straight in. Yeah.
That is very true. So, by the way, quick thing about the voice cast here. So, a lot of this cast went on to do other things, obviously. So, we got Tom Kenny, who is SpongeBob. Obviously, Pam Anderson is Stripperella. You know, that's duh, of course. There was, oh man, where was this person from? So, there is someone on this list that actually went on to do more DC projects. Trying to see here. So the person that plays Persephone, and she also plays a character in the show that we'll soon see called Queen Clitoris. She went on to other projects. Is this who I'm looking at? Serena Irwin does the voice of her. She's in a pretty popular show for girls called Winx Club. She plays Mara and Lois Lane in Batman Brave and the Bold.
Oh, wow, okay.
She plays multiple voices in SpongeBob SquarePants. She's gone on to do tons of things. She's multiple voices in World of Warcraft, which you and I talked about before recording this. So,
do you know where the SpongeBob connection comes from? Because I can tell you. This was animated by Nickelodeon Digital.
What? Was it?
Yes.
That is fucking crazy, dude. So it's weird.
That's the animation studio credited for Stripperella.
What? Well, there are a lot of people on this that are in SpongeBob. So there's another one, Jill Talley, who is the voice of, I don't think we've met her yet, but Giselle. I don't think we've seen her yet, but she's in the Boondocks. She's also in SpongeBob. She's in Family Guy, a bunch of stuff. She plays Karen in SpongeBob. Wait, why does that sound familiar? SpongeBob Karen. Oh, that's fucking Plankton's computer. Remember Plankton's computer, his girlfriend computer?
Yeah.
Like his e-girl?
Yeah. His e-girl, yeah.
Also, John Cryer's in this show. He's Dave. And Cliff. Oh, wait, he's Cliff also. He does the British accent for Cliff.
He's also Stripperella's brother.
Oh, really?
In the show, yes.
Oh my god, dude! And as we will soon learn to see, Dirk McMahon is in this. No, Vince McMahon.
I mean, you can put 2 and 2 together for that one.
Yeah, and just to quick list off some quick names here: D. Bradley Baker. That is someone that I'm actually going to be meeting in a couple months. I should get my hands on Stripperella and have him sign Stripperella. He's 100%. Actually he's the voice of, if you guys ever watch Clone Wars, Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Mm-hmm. He is the voice of all of the clones.
Wow.
He's the one that does his rendition of what's his name from episode 2, Jango Fett. He does all the voices for the clones.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So he's still working to this day on like Bad Batch and all that. John Farley is in this. Joey Lauren Adams, who I also will be meeting in a couple months, as you know, from Jersey Girl and Mallrats and all that. Oh, sorry, not Jersey. Yeah. No, Jersey Girl? No, sorry, Finding Amy, not Jersey Girl. Finding Amy,
yep.
Mark Hamill, of course. John Hurley, Kid Rock is in this. So Kathy Griffin is in this too. Chris Kirkpatrick from NSYNC. So these are all people we're going to be seeing in this. And I can confirm Stanley does make an appearance later on. And the legendary problematic Andy Dick is also in this.
Jesus Christ.
All-star like, honestly, this cast is insane. It's genuinely like what they've gone on to do is insane.
It really is.
Fuck, man. So, yeah, if you people are able to get your hands on Stripperella and watch Stripperella, it is available online. Get your fucking hands on it. It's so much fun to watch. It was produced on Spike TV. And at the end of every episode, if you watch it online, it has the Spike TV outro, which is cool to see again. Because I remember that outro from when TNA was on, and they would always show that after TNA. Yeah. So, yeah, this was just, it was a fun show to watch. If you have, again, the episodes are what, like 15 minutes maybe, if even that.
It's 50 minutes if you cut out the intro.
Yeah, like they're very quick, short episodes.
But you should watch the intro.
Yeah, you gotta watch the intro every goddamn time.
You
it's
have
the best.
to. You have to. It's so goddamn good.
So Stripperella, 2 thumbs up as we go into our Wizard magazine. Drumroll, please. Da-da-da-da. This month in Wizard, we're gonna keep in the year of 2000. All right, this show was in 2004. I tried to see if I had one for 2003, maybe, where they would probably be talking about Stripperella for this month, but I didn't have any for June for 2003, unfortunately.
I think it came out summer of 03, if I'm not mistaken.
So, yeah, sadly, I don't have any Wizards that talk about it that I could see. So I was trying to like have it themed, maybe, but unfortunately.
Which is weird, you would think, right? You know, the Stan Lee connection and all that.
It probably is in one, but it's just none of the ones. So I only do This Month in Wizard for books I own. So it might be in one of the ones I don't own. Fair. That could be the case. Because Wizard will cover one thing 1 month, and then like they won't talk about it after until it comes out. Quick things to note. We are going to be looking at Wizard Magazine, issue number 105. So I don't like doing the same issue back-to-back. I know I've done that twice. But this one had a really good one for this month that is actually kind of on point to a topic we talked about in this exact episode, actually, that I didn't plan on. So it kind of lines up. And it's a good issue. So go check it out. But there are some stuff I wanted to point out, too, when I was getting to the article. There's some images that are shown hyping up things. So one thing it hypes up in this issue is the now out, which you and I discussed before the show, Gekido, the fighting game, Urban Fighters. This is back,
really cool.
Yeah, so this is back when it first came out. If you guys want to see CFG playing it on this exact YouTube channel, you can go watch the video of it right now on this channel. So you can watch us playing that exact game. It also talks about a character. This is when people were getting they were talking about the lost books, the fake lost books.
Oh yes,
Century.
Yes.
This is the Century lore. This is how it started. Was this issue of Wizard Magazine?
That's a good tie-in.
Yeah, I know, pretty sick. So they did reveal that this guy Artie, the fake guy Artie on the right, is actually just one of the grandfathers of one of the people working on the magazine. So, but if you look at this image, that looks like it's supposed to be Stanley the writer and the alleged artist Artie. Yeah, Artie Rosen. So this was the issue that kickstarted the Century lore that people fell for back in the 2000s. Pretty cool history there. And lastly, something it actually advertised that popped me was a toy ad. So they were advertising a Vampirella toy with a thong where they said she's keeping dental floss companies in business. But then it highlights something to the right here called Got the Blues, and it's highlighting Blues Superman, which, funny enough, before reading this issue, didn't know, but I actually just got this a week ago. So I went to the comic shop, and I saw this there for $10, and I know Blue Superman is not liked by a lot of people, but I like this character's design because, and the concept of the character, only because it was created the same month I was born. So, I don't know, I find something special about that. It's a popular character of something that was made when I was made. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm the same age as this character, so I don't know. So I have like a ton of merch of Blue Superman stuff. So when I saw this ad, I popped because I was like, yo, I just bought this last weekend. And here it is being advertised as the new toy coming out, you know? So pretty funny. 25 years later to the month, they're advertising this. So very timely. But that's not what we're talking about this month. Those are just some fun things to point out that were in this issue also. Also, they're advertising Earth X stuff. So that's about the time period.
Oh,
2000 was
cool.
I know we cover a lot of 90s stuff, and I've been trying to dip into 2000s Wizards, you know, because some of the stuff we remember, you know?
Yeah.
This here is interesting. It's a casting call, okay? We love our casting calls, but this isn't any casting call. This is a casting call for Batman Dark Victory, the movie. But this is being cast by none other than Tim Sale and Jeph Loeb, the man who we've been talking about this whole episode. They casted who they would cast as the character, so you know it's not going to be like a bullshit whatever casting. So this is what the creators would want, playing who they wrote and drew, which was like, we got to cover it. So starting off here, as Batman in the year 2000, they wanted Russell Crowe to be their Batman, which is a pretty interesting pick. I've never seen Russell Crowe in like fan casts.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know how I see him as Bruce, but like as Batman, like in the suit, I could definitely see that.
So we have the next page here. They want to cast Catwoman. And listen, in the year whether it's the year 2000 or the year 2025, I wouldn't mind seeing this person in a Catwoman costume. They wanted to cast Jennifer Lopez as Catwoman. And honestly, 90s Jennifer Lopez looks like Tim Sale's Catwoman.
She does. You just have to get her with the fact that she fucking sucked as an
at
actress
acting. Yeah, I mean, she still kind of does.
I was gonna say she still kind of does.
But we would have had a Puerto Rican Catwoman, so I like that.
Yeah, in concept that would have been really cool.
Listen, man, J-Lo in a Catwoman suit, who is gonna complain? All right, no one's gonna complain about that. So as the Joker, they wanted Tommy himself from Grand Theft Auto, Ray Liotta.
I love that casting, actually.
To play the Joker.
I really love that.
That would have been fire, dude. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, I really like the idea of that.
And as Robin, they wanted to cast Frankie Muniz. You're not the boss of me now, from Malcolm in the Middle.
That's an amazing casting, too.
Yeah, the next one, little problematic looking back in hindsight, but in the 2000s, a surefire pick for this person. I think a good pick for this person. Kevin Spacey as Two-Face, who he's gotten caught up in some things recently, but you know.
Definitely problematic now, but back then, yeah, he was a great actor. And he was definitely great. You know what I mean?
He's the best part of the Superman movie from 2005 when he was Lex.
Superman Returns?
Yeah, I think he was the best part of that movie. Personally.
Yeah, I actually... We'll have to review that movie someday. I actually don't hate that movie.
I watched that movie in theaters.
Really? Okay.
So I have, like... I think I'm the only person, like, that I know, well, now you, that I didn't mind the movie. But when you watch that movie...
I was gonna say...
Kevin Spacey, Head and Shoulders, is the best part of that goddamn movie. Like, he is really good as Lex. Like, he got the character. He knew what he was doing. And I think until, like Kevin Spacey in Superman Returns and the Smallville Lex, those are the two best Lexes of all time. So I'm very happy to hear that for the new movie, what's his name, that's playing Lex now, he actually said he watched Smallville to get inspiration for his Lex. So that's pretty hype. That's where his Lex is drawn from, inspired from. So that's gonna be.
I would have rather he read the comics.
No, he did. But he said he to get like the so they all I guess it was like a homework assignment that everyone had to read comics, like certain books for their characters. But he also was a fan of comics, so like he watched Smallville also to get like he watched every Lex, but he said he really was drawn to the Smallville Lex. Like there was something about it, and of course that's like the world-renowned best Lex. So it's like everyone's like. Yeah, if there's any Lex to be like, yeah, I'm pulling some things from that, I would say that's the best one to pull from. The next one, though, Gillian Anderson. They wanted Janice Porter from X-Files to play her. She was a pretty popular actress in the 2000s. Fucking man, my dad was obsessed with X-Files growing up. I kind of want to watch X-Files from the beginning. I want to see what the hype was about.
Same, me too. I've seen her in like other projects, and yeah, she was a really good actress.
Yeah.
Really good actress.
Next, as Commissioner Gordon, they wanted Guy Pearce to play Commissioner Gordon.
That's an interesting call, because I don't feel like he's old enough.
Yeah, I guess they're maybe trying to go younger. I guess if you throw a mustache on him, he'll look older, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't get that. Guy's a good actor, though.
because I'm looking at their Gordon, like Tim Sales Gordon that he draws. He always kind of looked like in his 30s. You know, he never looked like an old man. Like he looked worn, but he never looked old, if that makes sense. Like he looked like he could handle his own business.
I would give him like
had some
early
long
40s.
nights. Okay,
Like
yeah, I
early
can see that
40s
too.
maybe. Yeah.
I can see that too. The last page here, some more great castings. We got Angelina Jolie as Poison Ivy. They wanted.
Okay.
Then this is a great one, man. As Calendar Man, they wanted John Malkovich as Calendar Man. That is awesome.
That's one of those like, Jeph and Tim watched a lot of movies if they're casting a guy like John Malkovich.
Honestly, on this list, I don't think there's any misses outside of like J-Lo, but you gotta remember J-Lo at the time, like this is post Selena, and that was a good movie. That's probably her best movie. So she was still popular, making popular music. So but besides her though, everyone on this list, we're gonna get to the last 4 here, but everyone's a home run. This is like a must-watch movie if they were to make this.
This would have been a very expensive movie to cast.
Absolutely, but it would have been worth it, man. Especially if Jeph was writing it. That would have been cool.
Yeah,
if Jeph and Tim worked on it. As Mario Falcone, they wanted Andy Garcia to play him from The Untouchables, which I think is no-brainer. And
I mean, physically, I see it.
This one's a great pull because I've seen her in other things, but I mostly know her from American Horror Story. Kathy Bates as Sophia Falcone, and I think that's great. She'd be perfect.
I know Kathy Bates as Bobby Boucher's mom from The Waterboy. That's how I know her as.
Holy shit!
That's her.
In Waterboy. Yo.
Bobby Boucher, women are the devil.
Holy shit!
But she's a great actress.
Remembered that.
She's a great actress.
She is. And Sophia's such
actress.
a dynamic character, especially like in Long Halloween. Sophia's such a dynamic character; she'd be perfect, hands down. They wanted John Turturro to play Alberto Falcone, which, if you guys know him from fucking Ghostbusters.
Has he? Okay.
Wait, was he? Oh wait, no. Oh wait. Okay, yeah, he is in Ghostbusters. I was like, yo, was I going crazy? Okay, what blows my mind?
Is he alive?
He is alive.
Okay, good.
Yes, I was thinking of what's his name, the other guy from Ghostbusters that passed. There's another one that passed.
Yes, there is.
Oh, wait, no. I am mixing it up. Harold Ramis is from Ghostbusters.
Yes.
But they look the same. That's what.
Yeah, they kind of do.
And if you look at that picture they chose in Wizard, that looks like Harold Ramis.
It does look like Harold Ramis, yeah.
Holy, they got the same glasses and everything. All right, so I'm not an idiot. Okay.
You just got it mixed up. It's all good.
I think
John Turturro?
Yeah.
Like voice acting wise?
Yeah, he was Carmine Falcone in the Batman. So
shit.
He went on to play a Falcone. He played Carmine.
Holy fuck.
I knew it. Wild. I was like, because I saw the picture of him in like the red glasses, and I'm like, he wore that in Batman, I think. Yeah, so he actually went on to play a Falcone. So look at that. One of these people ended up going on to do something as a Falcone.
So wild.
And then I know he was changed, I believe, in the Penguin show. He got replaced.
Yes, he did.
By what's his name that played Sinestro in Green Lantern. The good part of the Green Lantern movie, Sinestro.
Yeah.
And then the last one here, the Riddler. It's a great casting. It's someone that I wouldn't even think about because everyone would be like, "Oh, Jim Carrey," and that's why they went with Jim Carrey in the 90s. But the 2000s man, Steve Buscemi, perfect as Riddler. He's like that scrawny looking dude that's kind of weird looking. I could see him saying those weird ass riddles to fucking Russell Crowe's Batman. That's great. Steve Buscemi is perfect casting.
I would have loved that casting, yeah.
Like, especially, man, in 2000, what was he doing in 2000? Let's see. What was he in? Just out of curiosity, what was his claim in the 2000s when they were making this?
Sopranos. He was in The Sopranos.
Was that? Oh yeah, he was still in Sopranos at this time. Yeah, you're right.
I think.
Let me see. I know he eventually was in it. Oh, 2004. So 4 years later.
Okay, a little bit later on.
The same year as Stripperella. He was in it for 14 episodes. Almost an episode more than Stripperella.
That's a sign. It's a sign.
But in 2000, when this was put out, he was on Saturday Night Live. for 2 episodes hosting. He was in 28 Days, Animal Factory, Big Daddy came out, Armageddon came out, Wedding Singer, Drew Carey Show. So he was in a bunch of things at this time before then. Oh, yeah, Billy Madison, too. He was so creepy in Billy Madison. He was the weird dude that showed up at the end when they were doing the questions. With the guy that shot, he was the one that came in with the shotgun or the hunting rifle.
Oh yeah.
He was like the weird shooter guy that always had a gun. I think he was gonna like kill himself, but then like he got a call from Billy and it saved his life.
Yeah.
What a great movie. I gotta watch that movie again. That's one of Justine's favorite movies. That's a great movie. That is This Month in Wizard. I think that is a must-watch movie if it was to be made. And
must-watch, absolutely.
And that is issue number 28, man. 28 issues of the monthly Dive Into the Longbox, still going strong. And in our one-shot, it is a book that Ajax has read in the past, but it's a book I've read for the first time, and I thought it was a good time to touch on it after 1, I got it in hand finally for a cheap price, and 2, we just reviewed not too long ago Spawn number 1. So I thought, why not check out Marvel's Spawn, their response to the character, Night Watch.
Quote.
We've talked about Night Watch in the past and how Spike Lee was going to be, he actually was already in the works of making a Night Watch movie that fell through. So we're going to go through Night Watch number 1, see if it deserved any hype, and go from there. It's going to be interesting to read through. And until then, we'll see you guys in the one shot. Take care.